If you're just getting into coding, don't do what I did. I tried to learn everything at once, skipped the basics, got stuck for hours, and genuinely thought I wasn't smart enough to be a developer. Spoiler alert, I was just doing it wrong. Let me save you from wasting your time on tutorial hell, the stack of open tabs, and the existential crisis. In this video, I'm breaking down the 10 things you should never do as a beginner programmer because I did all of them. And trust me, they are the fast lane to burnout, confusion, quitting, and thinking you're not good enough for programming. Whether you're stuck in tutorial hell, overwhelmed by too much advice, or generally feeling that you make no progress, this is for you. Let's save you some pain and get you on the right track right away. So let's start with one of the biggest mistakes I made early on, the one that almost made me quit before I even really began. One of the biggest traps beginners fall into is trying to learn every programming language they've ever heard of, jumping from JavaScript to Python, Java, C++, maybe even a little Rust for the cool points. But here's the thing, it's like trying to learn guitar, piano, violin, and drums all at once. Sure, they're all instruments, but the skills don't directly transfer, and you will end up making noise instead of music. Surprise, surprise, programming languages are the same. Each has its own syntax, rules, and way of solving problems. You're not becoming a better developer by juggling 5 languages, you're just getting overwhelmed and confused. So stick to one language, just one. Go deep and not wide. Choose one that's beginner friendly and widely used. I would go with JavaScript or Python and build real projects with it. And don't worry, one language is more than enough to land you a job. There are countless opportunities out there. Companies care way more about what you can build with one language than how many languages you've seen tutorials for. Mastering one language well will teach you how to think like a programmer, and that's way more valuable than barely remembering 5. But once you've picked your language, just one, the next trap to avoid is rushing past the boring stuff and straight into the fun part. A lot of beginners want to skip the boring parts and jump straight into building things, because building something makes you feel like you're moving forward. And I get it. You want to see results. You want to feel like a real developer. I feel you. But skipping the basics is like trying to decorate a house before you've built the walls. You might make it look good for a minute, but it's not going to stand for long. I did the same thing. I rushed into the cool stuff, skipped the basics, and ended up completely lost when things broke, because I didn't understand why they were breaking. If you don't learn how things actually work, how code runs, how logic flows, how things connect, you will constantly get stuck. And the worst part is that you will think it's your fault when it's not. So take the time to build that solid foundation. Learn the building blocks, variables, loops, conditionals, functions, whatever language you're using. Understand the why and not just the how. Go back and fill in the gaps. Starting over doesn't mean you're failed, it means you're serious about getting it right. Build the walls first and then decorate the house. You got this. Now, even if you do take the time to learn the fundamentals, here's another mistake that will sneak up on you fast, especially when you hit your first real challenge. Getting stuck is normal, it's part of the learning process. Staying stuck for hours, alone, frustrated, and slowly losing confidence in yourself is not part of the job description. And yeah, I used to do this too, because I was afraid I was going to be judged if I asked for help. I was afraid that people would think I knew less than I should. I thought if I just kept grinding through the error, eventually I would earn my way out of it. Little did I know, that's not how coding works. There's no trophy for struggling in silence. If you've been stuck for more than 30 minutes to 1 hour, pause and ask for help. Google it, ask Uncle GPT, you know who I mean. Search Stack Overflow, ask in a forum or a Discord group. Or just describe the problem out loud to your dog, your cat, or even an empty chair. It's called rubber duck debugging. And yes, it actually works. Just for reference, rubber duck debugging is a method of debugging code by forcing yourself to explain a problem, yes, to a rubber duck. Most of the time, the answer is out there. You just have to go find it. Learning to ask for help is a skill, and the faster you get good at it, the faster you will grow as a developer. Stuck happens, just don't stay stuck. And once you finally get unstuck, there's another trap waiting. One that feels productive but actually slows you down. You all do this one, but you just refuse to accept it. Copy-pasting code feels like a shortcut, but if you don't understand what it does, it's not helping you learn. I've done it too. I'd grab some code from Stack Overflow, paste it in, and move on, only to break something later on and have no idea how to fix it. It's like copying math answers without knowing how formulas work. You might pass the test, but you will fail when it matters. So, use online solutions as learning tools and not as copy machines. Read the code, break it down, ask, what is this doing? Why does it work? And if you can explain it in your own words, you're good. If not, you're just like plugging in random puzzle pieces and praying they make a working app. Understand it thoroughly first and then copy if you need to. Now let's talk about something that sounds boring, looks scary, and absolutely will save your life as a developer. I avoided version control, the very well-known to all of us Git, for way too long because I thought, I'm just building small projects. I don't need all that Git stuff. Big mistake. By the way, if you don't know what Git is or how to use it, please pause this video right now and go Google it. The day I accidentally deleted a working project and couldn't undo it was the day I fully committed to Git. Pun absolutely intended. Version control isn't just for big teams or pro devs. It's your personal time machine. It helps you track your progress, undo mistakes, and work without the fear of losing everything or having to apply your code on another editor just so you have it for future reference. Even if you're just learning, using Git will teach you how real-world workflows work, and that's much appreciated by companies, believe me. And trust me, your future self will thank you when you don't have to dig through 10 copies of final, this one really, final version 2.zip. Start small, learn basic commands, get comfortable with committing your code, pushing to GitHub, and rolling back when something breaks. It's not as scary as it sounds, and once you get it, you will never want to code without it. And speaking of tools that make life easier, there's one habit that feels helpful but seriously slow you down. Tutorial hell is real. It's that place where you've watched 50 hours of tutorials and still can't build something on your own. You feel busy, you feel like you're learning, but you're not actually doing anything. I lived there for way too long. I could follow along with every tutorial like a true champion, but the moment I had to write something from scratch, I completely froze. I felt like I was the dumbest person alive. Tutorials are great for getting started, but they're not the destination. At some point, you have to close the video, open a blank file, and build something ugly and broken that's entirely your own. That's where the real learning happens. Yes, you will feel uncomfortable. Yes, it will be slower. That's struggle, that's growth. Don't just consume, but create. The goal isn't to finish the tutorial. The goal is to finish without one. Now, once you start building on your own, there's another temptation that creeps in, and future you will either love you or hate you for this one. When you're learning, the goal is just to make the code work. That's fine at first, but if your code looks like a plate of spaghetti mixed with duct tape and a prayer, it's going to be a nightmare to debug, fix, or share. Yeah, I've written code that worked, but it was such a mess I couldn't even explain it to myself later or to the rubber ducky. The truth is, clean code isn't just about looking nice. It's about being readable, not just by others, but by the future you 2 months from now, when you forget what the heck that variable named XXY final 2 was supposed to do. Learn the basics of naming things clearly. Use consistent indentation. Break things into small, logical chunks. Comment where necessary, but don't write an essay either. You don't have to write perfect code, just code that doesn't make people cry when they read it. Best practices are called that for a reason. They'll make your life easier in the long run. Trust me, future you will send you a virtual high five. While you're busy trying to write perfect code, there's one more thing that will mess with your head more than any bug ever could. It's so easy to look around and feel like everyone else is moving faster than you. Someone on Reddit just landed a dev job after 3 months of learning. Someone on YouTube built a full stack app over a weekend. And you're still trying to remember the difference between the equal and equal operators. Oh, I've been there. I used to look at other devs and think I'm way behind. I'll never catch up. The truth is, there's no race. Everyone learns at their own pace, with different backgrounds, different time commitments, and different strengths. The only person you should compare yourself to is who you were yesterday. If you're learning, building, and showing up, you're already ahead of most people who never start. Progress is progress, even if it's slow. Trust your pace, because the only journey you need to win is your own. Keep going because you're doing better than you think. Now let's talk about something every dev avoids until they have no choice. Look, I get it. Reading documentation feels like homework. It's dry, it's boring, and sometimes it feels like it was written by aliens for other aliens. But here's the truth. Documentation is gold. I used to ignore it too. I would search for a blog post or a YouTube video that explained it to me instead. When I forced myself to finally read the docs, I started understanding how actually things work. And weirdly enough, I kind of started enjoying it. The docs are usually the most accurate and up-to-date resource you will find because normally they're written by the people who invented that language. Makes sense, right? You just have to get used to how they're written. Start small and look up one thing at a time. Practice reading it like a map, not a novel. You don't have to memorize it, you just need to know how to find what you're looking for. And once you do, you will start feeling less like a beginner and more like a real dev. And finally, let's talk about the moment that makes or breaks most beginner programmers. At some point, probably more than once, you're going to hit a wall. You will try something over and over and it just won't work. You will feel stuck, frustrated, and start thinking things like, maybe I'm just not smart enough for this. I've been there many times. Every developer has. And I'll be honest, those moments suck. But here's the thing. Hitting a wall doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're pushing yourself. It means you're doing something real. And if you keep going, if you keep trying, asking questions, Googling, breaking things and fixing them, you will get through it. That's how every developer levels up. Feeling stuck doesn't mean you're not a real dev. It means you are one. So don't quit, take a break, breathe, come back, but keep going. Because on the other side of that wall is the version of you who finally gets it. Alright, you legend, if any of those hit a little too close to how you feel, that means you're learning. We've all made these mistakes. What matters is that you're here, doing the work, getting better, one bug and one breakthrough at a time. Let me know in the comments how many of these have you done. No judgment, I've done all 10 twice. If this video helped, give it a like so YouTube knows I'm not just talking to myself. And of course, subscribe for more weekly coding tips and advice. Thanks for watching, I'm Pete and I'll see you on the next one.